Hi guys, welcome back to Origami Twist. My name's Jen, and today's video is not a box like I promised in my last video. Sorry about that. I designed the box, but it's a fairly sturdy, complicated design, so I'm gonna table that for a little while, and I may do it in the next couple of weeks. We'll see how we go. So instead of a box, today's video is going to be a paper tulip. And I'm starting off this project with a pencil that I've covered in green paper, and I'm going to set that aside for right now. I've also got two 3" by 3" squares in the color tulip that I'd like, so in this case pink. I've got one 3" by 3" square for the tulip template. I've got a 2" by 2" square in the same color as the main tulip. And then I have two pieces of green paper in 7.5" by, I think this is 2.5 inches wide, but essentially what you need is a long, skinny rectangle, and that will be for the leaves. So I'll set those aside, and let's get to the tulip. So I'm going to take my template paper and fold it in half, or cardstock in this case. I find cardstock lasts a bit longer when you're making a template. And then I'm going to draw just up near the top, I'm going to draw a V. Now this will determine the shape of the top of your tulip, so it can be you can get as creative as you want with that. Practice on scratch paper if you want to. Then I'm going to draw from the upper right hand corner of the V. Now this is where it opens like a book, where I'm starting. And I'm just going to draw down the side and curve into the bottom left-hand corner. And again, you can make it as wide or as skinny as you want. It depends on the look you're going for with your tulip. I'm then going to cut around the outside, and just like when you make a paper heart, it will give you a full tulip shape. And there you go, a symmetrical tulip shape. So if you want to modify this at all, now's the time to do that. Just fold and trim as you like to get the shape that you want. And then you're going to trace and cut out onto your two larger, in this case 3" by 3" squares. Now once you've cut out your two squares, you're going to take your template and fold it in half vertically so that you can find the midway point for your tulip. You're going to overlay it over the top of one of the tulips, and you may decide you want to do two templates, one for cutting and one for tracing, depends on how many of these you're going to make. And then you cut up from the bottom into the middle. Then we're going to turn your second tulip shape upside down, and again using the same template, you're going to cut from the bottom up to the middle. So one of your tulips is cut at the top and one at the bottom. And you've probably realized that this is going to behave just like a paper doll. So one is going to interlock with the other one to create a tulip shape. Now we need to get the tulip shape onto the paper covered pencil, and we're going to do that using a simple origami fold. So with your 2" by 2" paper that matches your tulip, you're going to take one corner and fold it up to the opposite corner and crease. You're then going to open it up and the other corner and bring it up to the other corner and crease. So now you have an X folded into your paper. With the folds going this way, that's called a mountain fold, you're going to have that facing down like this, and one edge is going to come in and fold to the other edge. And then open it up and do the opposite as well, so that now a plus sign is also creased into the paper. So when you look at the way it's folded, the diagonals go this way, and the horizontal plus sign folds go this way. Holding your paper in that way, you're going to take the two corners and bring them into each other, basically collapsing the fold to make a small square. So that's what it looks like from one side, and if you turn it over, that's what it looks like from the other side, like a plus sign. Now I'm going to use this origami fold to hold the tulip in place and also to attach it to the pencil. So looking at the base of that fold, I'm actually going to just trim off the top, and that will put a little hole in the paper so that I can insert the pencil. And you do want to make sure you don't make the hole too big. You want it to be able to hold on to it. With your glue or adhesive, you're going to put a little bit of glue on the eraser and then all the way around. And you can be generous with the glue. You will need quite a bit of it to get it to hold. And you can, as long as your glue dries clear, you can easily wipe off any excess. So then we're going to hold our tulip like so, open it up, and slide it down on top of that fold, and then pinch around to get it to hold on to the paper. And then hold the whole thing together for a few minutes while it starts to take effect. And as you do, rotate it so that you're happy with the way the tulip head looks on the pencil. During the drying process is definitely the time that you want to set all of this up, as once it dries, it's sort of stuck into place. Great, let it dry, and then we'll come back for the leaves. So while that's drying, let's make the leaves. I have two, again, 2.5 inch by 7.5 inch rectangles here. And again, it's just a long, skinny rectangle. I'm going to stack them up so I can do them both at the same time and fold in half lengthways. I'm now going to take my scissors and freestyle half a leaf. So something like that. You could even do it a bit flatter at the bottom. It's totally up to you. And then when you open it up, you see that you've got two leaves. Okay, mine's not quite dry, but for the sake of time, I'm just going to apply them now. You can wait until it's totally dry if you want to. I'm just going to put a little bit of glue right down the center spine of one of the leaves, just like that, and then lay the pencil onto it. You could even fold it over a little bit if you want to. It's totally up to you. Just like that. And then take the other leaf and again apply a little bit of glue onto your flower and turn it over, and again apply a little bit of glue to get the bottom of the leaves to stick to the pencil. And notice we're doing this all at the bottom because we want to be able to separate out those upper leaves if we choose to. And there you go, one adorable paper tulip made out of a pencil, a bit of cardstock, and a couple pieces of paper. If you would like to learn how to make an origami tulip, so one that involves no glue and no scissors and it's pure origami, I do have a link to that in the description box below, or you can go and check out my tutorials on curious.com so you can try an origami tulip as well. Alright guys, I hope you have a great weekend and happy Easter. Take care. Bye-bye.